Hey there, everybody. Welcome back. Start out by saying finding time to do this is really difficult. Way more difficult than I thought it would be. I thought I'd be um, powering through the who I was segment of this pretty quick. Uh, I'm going to label this one as like day 1.5, so I'm not going to count it as an actual step in this process, but I wanted to get something out that kept the connectivity to all this and let you guys know that I do want to continue to do this. And I think it'll be good. I think in the last video, made a couple of points at the end where I could come back and um, build a little bit better structure so that I'm a little less rambly. Although part of this experiment is to be rambly and just honest and straightforward. Uh, I'm actually at home now, so I think that's another piece I'm going to try to stay consistent with is tell you where I'm at, kind of what the environment is for the day of the shooting. So I'm home, actually taking a little bit of break from work so I can fit this in because between work and working out and all the different things I'm trying to do, I'm just not finding time for this yet. And I'm getting ready to head to Germany for a work trip. Hopefully, I'll be able to do one or two of these while I'm there. Uh, I'll try to throw in a little bit of scenery, make it a little more interesting. So, need to start these out a little more scripted and be like, ask you to like and subscribe and share and comment and all that. I want to grow this at least to the point where I can go live. I feel like uh, it's kind of by nature of what I do for work that I interact better when there's a discussion. I've seen other live streams to where there's feedback coming in, and I could talk to that, and that would be cool when we get to that point. It definitely wouldn't be in the who I was section, but gotta get enough people on board for it to even matter. Uh, I am surprised at getting quite a bit of views, getting some feedback. Appreciate that. Getting some likes. It's so odd to me how this whole thing works, but we'll continue to learn it and hopefully learn it together. Anything I know, figure out along the way, I'll pass on. Uh, did not put the microphone on today because I'm just trying to fit this in. So let me know if the audio is atrocious, and I'll try to make sure to fit that in. Hopefully it's reasonable, and I'm just set up here on my old desk and trying to do this. Any feedback and comments appreciated, even if you tell me I look crazy or something weird. Uh, I can handle criticism too. So one thing I have been doing because I haven't been able to get to kind of a long form video and get that content out there. I have been trying to create shorts along the way. Just most of them's been while I'm at the gym, just turning the camera on and working out. And because it's so noisy and whatnot in there, I'm just picking a music thing to go with it. Uh, if you've watched any of those, you probably see that I like metal, or hard rock anyway. I'm gonna keep doing those. So any feedback on those interesting things, maybe I could set it up in the truck while I'm driving to and from the gym, or maybe if I'm actively outside working on something, I can do that. Little shorts or whatever of that, and I'll try to, just stop in. Those don't take a lot of time, so I can just pull up the video and say, hey, you know, still trying to, stay connected. That's really all that's for. So uh, I have no idea what and how, or if even if I would want to go viral, how I'd go about that. I think if I'm thinking about who I'm interested in watching on YouTube, it's more about teaching, learning, being authentic. I can smell AI a million miles away, and I despise the lack of connection that it brings. I have to work with AI a lot with what I do for work, which eventually will be revealed, but that's going to be way toward the end of this journey. So, if you guys are interested in what a Western North Carolina, born and raised, um, just go ahead and label myself as kind of backwoods redneck, would do for a major company for a living, stick around it. I think it, you know, it's definitely weird to me to think about what I do. Definitely wouldn't pick me out of a lineup to be the one doing it. We'll talk about that later on, but that would be definitely in a different bucket. So talking about the buckets, and hopefully I'm able to figure this out technically, but where we're at right now is in the who I was section. Again, I'm going to call this 1.5. It's kind of just a touch point. But whatever videos will be, the very first video was day one. Day two will be the next time I, can deep dive into who I was and however many days that takes. And I'll put those hopefully in a playlist under who I was. And then we'll move into who I am. And there'll be however many videos of that, and I'll do day one through whatever of that. And then who I want to be. And that gets into what I'm most anxious to talk about and what I think will be really good as far as interactivity. And hopefully by then I can go live and or at least interact in the comments really, more with, we're not going to know each other one to one. But, I think there's good perspectives from that can be obtained just through randomness. Especially the way I'm going to have to generate these videos are just going to be by wherever I'm at whenever I can. So you're going to, by virtue, kind of see the chaos of my life when I'm at home. It's probably is the most relaxed I can be. I'm not home a tremendous amount, and because of that, when I am home, I'm so busy mowing the grass and catching up on honeydews and all that. Speaking of honeydews, eventually I'll introduce my wife too. I want to get more established and comfortable with this before I even. It's not like I'm hiding it from her, but I haven't really, said go check this out or anything because it still feels extremely weird to me. She's not home right now. I wouldn't want to sit in there and talk to myself with her home yet. I'm not to that comfort level. But eventually, hopefully I will be, and eventually the content will be enough, clear enough, and have enough direction that definitely by the time who I am or she is a part of my life, so there won't be any avoiding that. And she knows my past, so some of the who I was story, the bucket we're in right now, guys, if you want to hear some crazy stuff, just stick around because I can't imagine, other than being a meth head or, someone that's actively degenerative on drugs, in some very chaotic environment. I've got a lot of stories to tell. At some points in my life, they were maybe even proud stories about what all I could do and things. And now they're more just facts, right? They're what I did, who I was, and it's gonna help lay the foundation for the three different buckets: the who I was, who I am, who I want to be, and then like in the first video, I said, this all leads up to something I've already started. Actively working on. That's where some of my extra time goes, and I don't want to reveal that yet, and because I don't want to influence what this is, but hopefully by the time we get to that reveal, whoever's still around is genuinely interested in me and my wife and us, and just this journey to freedom that I personally am on, and hopefully the people immediately around me can benefit from. And then that reveal, I think I said in the first video, it'll be like a transference to another channel. I don't know how, technically, I don't know how that'll be. I wouldn't want to lose the people I gain, because hopefully by then that's the people I want around. So if there's a way to transfer you guys there, do that. If it's just rebranding or whatever, we'll figure it out. Right? I mean, that's in the future, and the way this is going, I think it's going to take us a pretty good while. I'd like to set a goal for us. I'd like to get through the buckets this year, and then maybe move into the unveiling the new thing, and then have you guys help us on that journey, because that's kind of how I got into trying this, because I was watching YouTube a ton to learn, to get me ready for that. So I thought, well, if I'm going to get into YouTube and try my hand at it, I want to start as early as possible and walk the journey. Hopefully I'll learn tips and tricks by then to share, and then kind of in that piece of it, by then, like, have you guys given direct feedback for that, and I think that'll work out. So I actually wrote a few things down to try to make sure I covered them. I've covered most of them already. Again, I talked about the shorts. I mean, even make fun of me for wearing the same stuff all the time. I'm very habitual. So I think all the workout shorts right now, I'm in a blue shirt. Promise I'll bathe and all that, but those are consecutive days, so there you go. Right. Maybe you can count them for me and give me a tally on how long that blue shirt sticks around, and give me some commentary on that, because I'd imagine someone could say, "My God, you don't have any other clothes," or whatever the case may be. But hopefully I don't stink. You know how that is. It's personal opinion, but I definitely, if I caught wind of any kind of BO issue, I would address it. So going back to the shorts, just I'm using the time I have, and when it pops into my mind, if I think of something to say, or hey, I'm going to be on this treadmill or whatever I'm doing anyway, so hit the button, put some music on it. Give me suggestions, if it fits into my life, and it's something you think would be cool to see me do, I'll try it. One of the things that make me think about it, and I'm not going to do this, so don't ask me to do it, but the black dude that does the wipe me down thing, where he throws his hat down and spins and does that little dance. Man, how entertaining that was for seemed like years. And I don't know, obviously don't know him, but he genuinely looked just like a random dude, some guy I would know right down the street. So for something like that, obviously not dancing for you guys. I'm not a dancer. But I think I've done made sort of a promise and a comment. I'll probably post some pictures of things along the way, like especially when we're talking about who I was. If we're reminiscing on a particular story and I can find a still photo or something that kind of represents that point in my life, I'll try to figure out how to add it. I don't know if I can put it on the screen or add it in the comment. I don't. Just have to learn how to do that. If someone knows how to do that, now granted, I'm currently cell phone, no real editing software except for what YouTube provides. So I don't have anything fancy to work with. But if there's a way to do it with the tools I have, please let me know. All right, I think I've covered what I was going to today. And again, I'm going to label this as day 1.5, and it's just letting you guys know that I do plan on committing to this. Try to have a structure. I'm yeah. I want to have like a entry and exit saying. There's a few I've heard that I could probably emulate, but I want to come up with my own and uh, something that I know I have that I have to deal with because I talk to the public a lot. Is I have a deep accent, and I know it. So maybe if you could help me think of a saying, whatnot, a entry, a slogan for this, venture we're on. Journey to Freedom. I like that. Really put some thought into that, and that is the overarching story. So we'll keep integrating that. But if there's some catchphrase, that makes sense, maybe I'll come up with it or through the comments. However, um, let's do that. Again, I'll try to start with a theme. I'll try to end with a theme. I'm going to continue to ask for like and subscribe and all the stuff that I'll figure out how to put the little things on there over time. Just going to build it organically. I'm not in a hurry to be a perfectionist because I think there's no way to for me to do that. I would never get started if I waited till I understood everything. So, but being honest with you guys and letting you guys know that I don't know everything, that makes the comment feel that much more valuable to me. If you do know something or you see something I'm doing that's annoying, I consciously try to limit my us, but when I listen to myself, I have a lot of us mixed in. So, things like that. If I'm pointing, I use my hands a lot. If I make gestures too much, not enough, or that's something you enjoy, um, making eye contact versus looking off, focusing on something else. I don't, when I'm watching someone else, some of that matters. A lot of times we're just listening, like I'm working out, I'm more about the content. I do research a lot of finance stuff, and I think when I get into who I want to be and some of that content, maybe I can provide some of that learnings because I've learned a lot by virtue of YouTube. So maybe I can contribute back to that. But any tips and tricks, any feedback, welcome. Just genuinely want to be successful at this, whatever that means, right? Um, and again, I'll introduce my wife, and I'll I'll debate on how much further into my family I go with the exposure to this. Obviously, I'm never going to give you discrete details to find me. Uh, that wouldn't be wise. There's a lot of um, I don't want to say crazy, but a lot of disturbed people that maybe I say something offensive or something one day and not meaning to, but I'm not going to put my family in jeopardy. But I'm going to start to sign off here. I appreciate your time if you're still watching. 20 minutes in, I purposefully just didn't go down the who I was, because I want to go back and listen to that first video, kind of build a story arc, try to stay in as good a sequence as I can. It's going to be tough not to jump around a little bit, but especially when I get into the later years, because there's so much content there. But all right, well, hopefully I'll get to talk to you before. If not, next time you may see me or hear from me, I'll be in Germany, and we'll go from there and see what that yields. Peace out.